Hello, Miss Karina. My name is Limbano de Jesus Dominguez Urbina, and right now I'm going to show you my video class. So I'm going to start with the subject. Well, the subject or the topic is called story time. So the reason that I decided to choose this topic, or the name of this topic, it's because I think that stories are a good way to interact with people in order to acquire different things that are different for the culture that we own. So, for example, maybe we can make a conversation with a people who is living maybe in the United States, or maybe which is living in maybe Africa. So, and during the conversation that we're having each other, so we're learning different things that we're not used to do, or maybe to live, or maybe to perform in our um, main culture. So so that's why I decided to use this topic, so the story time, and as well as that we can create, like, it's like a key for making a conversation. It doesn't matter if we don't know anything about the new culture, or maybe it doesn't matter if we don't know, well, anything about some topic that we have to make. But the main point here is that we need to talk, so we need to keep in touch, we need to interact with people. And I think so, through the stories that we can make, or maybe we can tell each other, maybe we can tell to our partners, to a friend, to the family, so to everybody. So it's the best way to keep in touch, and as well as to make contact with the people, with new people, so we can get new culture, or maybe new knowledge of the new cultures. Okay, so now let's move on to the next step. Okay, so here we have the level, which is the intermediate level. I think it's a good level to perform this kind of activity. Well, of course, if this is a high level, or an advanced level, I think it will be easier, or maybe like a piece of cake. But I think intermediate level would be great. So for me, the age, or the ages for this project would be from 15 years to 18 years old, and I think the minimum time for performing this kind of project would be 30 minutes. No more, no less. It's 30 minutes. I think it's okay. Okay, so now let's move on to the learning objectives. Okay, so the learning objectives, it's that students will be able to translate and express their feelings and thoughts through speaking messages, so that they can get feedback from other people. So that's what I was telling you before, that the importance of making stories is that it's a way that we can create, like, conversation, so with many different people around the world, maybe, well, even through the stories that we create, so we can get new friends, so we can get in touch with many different people in a way that every day, so we can learn anything. For example, I don't know, maybe the type of culture that you have in your country, as well as my culture that I have. Well, for example, it's just to make it simple, the way we celebrate the Day of the Dead, it's not the same that the celebration for maybe Chinese, or maybe Japan, or maybe Brazil. So so here is that through the conversation that we make with other people is the way that we can share our feelings or thoughts, or maybe if we don't agree with something, so we can explain it, or, well, we can make it so in a way that the other people can understand that kind of thing. So because most of the time I think that when we don't know like a certain things, so the other person that it's talking to us, they like they get kind of confused because the less vocabulary, maybe the less information that we have for that culture. So in this way it could become like so embarrassed, or or I don't know how would be the perfect word for that, like you don't feel like comfortable. So the conversation it's like becoming uncomfortable. So that's why the learning objectives is that we can express our feelings and thoughts through the speaking. Okay, now let's move on to the materials to be used during the activity, which is thematic cards, sheets to write, and a pen. So I decided to use thematic cards because it's like the main reason or the main tool that we're going to choose in order to create the story. As well, the sheets, it's like the the paper where they will have to write the story, and of course the pen. Okay, so now let's move on to the activity and procedure. So the students will take a card which contains two words. That's what I decided to use like thematic cards. Maybe for example we can say like soccer and raining. So maybe that person can create a story. For example, so I was in a in a game and it starts raining very hard, so it was like a raining day and something like that, which will be used to create a short story of at least half a page. So once they finish writing the story, they will change the sheet with another partner and translate the story into English while telling it to the class. So going back to what I was saying before, so this is a good way to be creative as well as to show the kind of culture that you have to other people that maybe they don't know anything about it, or maybe they just have a little of information about it. But it's okay because through this kind of activity, so we can we can explain anything that we want about the culture that we have, and also as well we are working on the translation, well, which is I think it's a very good way to perform that kind of skills. Now, speaking to skills, here we can improve the greater knowledge of the topics covered, which in this case is like the use of the culture that we own, and as well as to know how to translate the things, as well as understand the language structures of the original text. Well, because the main reason here is that they have to write the story, but in Spanish, because we're trying to learn the foreign language, or maybe here the second language, which is English. So they have to write the story in Spanish and translate it into English. So that's why they have to think about the way they will have to translate in order to make it understandable to the partners, and also they will be sharing, well, maybe the experiences, or maybe something important that they have in their lives, or anything. So so now abilities. So speaking to the abilities, it will be the better use of the vocabulary to express the message. So they really need to have a good vocabulary in order to translate that kind of story that their partners will be making, because according to that kind of vocabulary is the way that they will have like a little idea, or maybe they will be like you know understanding the main message of the story, or the main message that they're that the story it's about. Well, also the ease of expression ideas and feelings in speaking. So, as I was telling you, this is like the main reason to do that is it's like to know how to express their feelings, their ideas, and their thoughts, or maybe something that they have in mind, or maybe they want to discuss with another partner or with some other people. Okay, it's okay because during that kind of conversation, so they can interact and maybe they can give their point of view about something they don't agree about it, maybe they agree about it, so they can discuss it. Okay, Miss Karina, so this is my project. I hope it's a good project to perform, and I hope that you like it as well. Of course, feel free to make some comments about it if this wasn't enough, or maybe if I I needed to put more information, or maybe to change something. So feel free to express yourself. And well, first of all, I think it will be it will be a good project. So thank you very much and have a good night.